Como eu queria uma safety. Uma safe aqui de, tipo assim, fechando de gacta, né, pra cima. Bem aqui dentro de Georgia Pool, tá ligado? Eu queria uma safe aqui, velho. Bem dentro de Georgia Pool, só pra ver, velho. Nunca vi também uma safe ali.
I don't want to say problem, but that's my one downside to heroic. As amazing, I mean, they're proving it this tournament, right? As amazing as they can be one day, they can fall short the very next. I would love to see the across multiple tournaments or like especially for a tournament like this with so many games being played, the consistent top echelon heroic. We've seen it a couple of times in the past, but I haven't seen it enough to always know to expect it, simply because of, well, yeah, the fact that
Meu, ninguém indo pra gacta Georgia Pool, caramba.
2 to 8 o'clock plane path here, and because we've had decent circle 1s and crazy hardship phase 2s, I'm sort of expecting to be half on and half off Military Island if we want to continue the same sort of theme. It's going to be a circle that like goes onto Millie Island and comes off again, or vice versa and ends up on Sosnovka. No, never mind. Absolutely shut down. Although you can still do a similar thing with the river.
True.
Ou ela fecha aqui pra Poliana. Ela tem muita chance de puxar aqui pra Poliana esses campos abertos, porque é a safe mais padrão que existe quando fecha pra Poliana é puxar pra cá. Ou pra esses campouts aqui em cima. Essa área aqui, ó. Que é muito aberta. Ela é literalmente muito aberta. Vamos ver na fase 2 pra dar um predict bacana em cima disso.
Easy answer. Ruins and near the island.
I would agree. I was looking at the island. I was looking at Bermuda, as I like to call it as well, down north of Ruins, west of Rostock.
But you know why, though? It's not... this is going to sound strange because it's actually quite bad, but it's not because of the terrain there, because there are plenty of places to hide. What I'm thinking about is the moment the hard shift occurs, the absolute clown fiesta we're going to see of teams getting there. Once they get there, there'll be 1 or 2 teams there and they'll be fine. It's the process of getting there that I'm looking forward to.
The thing is, Joro hasn't seen enough clown fiesta today. Somehow, I mean, maybe you get addicted to clown fiesta. Maybe that's sort of this. Finally, you get some and you want more.
It's addictive, man.
I suppose so. Yeah, we can't just have those straightforward, you know, really let the players add the chaos to it, not the circles. We can't get those because we need that spice that is absurd hard shifts or brutal plane paths, I suppose.
Or if we don't get a hard shift, like what's the spiciest thing I could think of? It might be the famous sort of warehouse southeast of Severny. I want to see like a 5th and a 6th party of teams constantly crashing into that. That would be fun as well.
You just want to see the world burn, don't you?
I do a little bit, I'm not going to lie.
Like, or at least the wrangle.
Miramar set us such a good baseline today that I feel like Erangel has to do a lot to live up to it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like no matter where we're ending, I mean, obviously with what we were gifted here in the first circle, no matter where we're going, we pretty much only have 2 options. Either it's going to be a city ending, which would be unlikely, but yes, and Rostock still in, so it could happen. Either that's what we're getting, or we are, to some, if not a complete extent, ending out in the open. Not a whole lot of forest in this circle, not a whole lot of anything in that regard, unless if we do like a triple hard shift towards the hill north of shooting or south of shooting range. So the open crazy ending is what we're given, or you're getting yourself a very unlikely but still doable or possible city ending.
I love those stats on the right of the screen just now, by the way, because what they're showing is that the players in this lobby in general, like, nearly do as much damage via headshots than they do to the torso, and I'm just like, damn, that is... These guys are on point. They know what they're doing.
That is absolutely insane. Just to say. I mean,
Top 3, olha, boa. E que fez esse Tinuket, boa.
I mean, random pub games whenever they stream and whatnot, but this is some of the best, but they're still going up against some of the best. That's what keeps impressing me. The fact that not only are they a really good shot themselves, but the people they're going up to are an equal to or very close to equal shot. So you'd have to think that made the competition more difficult, but you still have some of those players that just go out and make it look terrifyingly easy.
Exactly. And when that happens, you have to remind yourself that is not easy. These guys have trained so hard to be able to do that. Oh my god, Fender lost already on a sliver of health. My fantasy team is reeling, and it's only 5 minutes into the game. Hang in there, Fendalos. Also, don't crash the car, please.
We saw BTN do a crazy push on EP in the previous game. Here, I mean, they drove side by side with Howl, and still he opts to jump out in the middle of the open to swap vehicles. That is very, very, very gutsy. Unfortunately, Fendalos gets to get out there alive. Reg, in the meantime, now, well, they're thinking through what they want to do, because if all of Navi opts to pull up on them, I guess that would be a bit of revenge in the sense that Reg were the ones to kind of punish the split from Navi in the previous game.
Yes, very true. And actually, Regnum Kaya did a really good job of holding their nerve during that fight as well. Yep. Navi, a team everyone knows, one of the most dangerous teams in the lobby, and Regnum stayed cut. The way they dispatched Navi in the previous game, really quite impressive. Oh, Jesus. Spyro. Oh, that was so close.
Caramba, foi quase.
Amazing lead times there. The way he led that shot with the bolt, he didn't even hesitate and nails the first one. I mean, wow.
Just insane. That just goes to show, I mean, when that's what you're going up against. I wouldn't want to be anyone in a car ever in a game of PUBG. Not only can the car itself kill you sometimes, but I mean, the fact that you have people that aren't even supposed to have an ankle on you hit you like that, that is terrifying.
Today's games have taught us you don't want to be in a car at all. You want to be in the bike. You want to be on the bike.
Oh yes, because it's immortal.
It's invulnerable.
Yeah, yep, you're right. You're right.
You send cars shooting off into outer space. You're good. As long as you're on the bike, you're good, man. Don't worry about it.
Hold for a second. Thunder. Think they're safe, but here comes the triple stack. Door is closed. First one denied. Takes him down. Hirusen forced to go for an audible. Sends it midair over the hillside. Thunder caught by surprise by FaZe Clan. This was a northern shift. Thunder thought they had all the space in the world if they just rotated late. But FaZe sitting here ready and raiding. They have read the playbook right. And they take out at least 2 from Thunder. Smart play by FaZe Clan. They knew they were beat to the circle anyway. Why hurry? Why sprint forward when we can just sit here and get some free kills?
I love, by the way, how they deliberately took up the actual toll booth position and they were like next to the guard towers. Like I appreciate that on so many levels. Thank you, FaZe Clan, for that. So that's 2 points for them early on in this game. BBL are going to where Phase 7 is going to end in shooting range after 3 hard shifts. So maybe they're 200 IQing this one. We'll wait and see. Not normally a location you see people send it early on, but we have seen a few circles end here. Yeah. And Reg, in the meantime, we're going Yasnaya. Admittedly, the very edge of it. They're not smacking themselves right in the middle, but that's interesting as well.
Opting for a 2-1-1 split on the far eastern side. Another team, I mean, for next time we get a look at the map here. Another team, Sakura Sanson, in a wide 2-way split. And normally, I wouldn't be too scared for this split. I mean, they currently have 2 people just over the west coast, or west side of the Yasnaya River, and 2 people further down south. The issue is that a lot of teams have made their way in between that split. So, while technically they aren't maybe too far from it, you can see it on the map now. I mean, you got Nixie and Tekas, I believe it to be between, like, kind of in the middle of Road to Glory, Reg and Navi. And the remaining 2 players, him and Soldi, are up on the west side of the river. Issue here being...
I mean, I
suppose he shot the pilot and now he shoots the plane to say thanks. Yeah, that
Pô, 2 drop, velho.
Those you guys didn't know, if you shoot the pilot, he just instantly drops the crate for you. Now you know. That's secret strats given to you. Every single pub game you're going to be playing from now on, you're just going to be seeing people shoot.
Live da cadeira.
That's what Sally just did.
Every pub game I'm ever a part of now, if I need to figure out where the nearest 6 teams are, I just wait for the plane. And everyone starts shooting. Cool, that's where everyone is.
Yep,
Free info.
Everyone's gonna start shooting at planes now. Thank you, Sally.
Hey.
Knowledge.
No, but to go back to what we were
Vinizinho.
the split that Sakura Sanson has currently got could be very dangerous. Because if this next circle commits to the west side of the river, the position that at least that's
Alongamento.
I'm nervous that other teams would get to pull up on that before Nick's
Ai, caralho. Maluco do céu.
Assist their teammate. But let's see. 5 seconds to go until the next circle.
Só para ver o
already in the car, and I like this idea from him. I cannot sit here and hold on my own in case a whole team comes. I'm getting the car ready to rotate.
Nossa.
Hard shifts once again. This time we're going west. And correctly. Well, body was
Caramba. A gente vai ter uma safe, cara. A gente vai ter uma safe pra cima de shooting range nessa região aqui, ó. do avião, ó, pra cima aqui, ó. Ó. Aqui a gente vai ter uma save. Ela tem como tanto puxar pra cá, como pra cá, tá ligado? Mas eu acho que ela puxa pra cá. Por causa desse hard shift. Nossa, quanto tiro pra finalizar!
Fortunately past the 10-minute points, so no minus points for, or 10-minute marks, so no minus points for people.
Mano, sério, cara. Ô, eu nunca vi tanto tiro, tá ligado? Os caras estão jogando no próprio servidor e o servidor fechado, cara. Eu nunca vi tanto tiro pra finalizar um cara, velho. De mini, cara. Ô, literalmente, velho. O que tá acontecendo, mano? Tá porra.
That position that Perfectus is on is the Achilles heel to the compound position. So I'm liking the fact that they're saying we want to keep the compound, but we also cannot give up this hillside because that's going to be the downfall of us inside.
Caramba, velho.
So them maintaining their spread instead of kind of turtling down inside the compound is, at least in my book, the right play for me.
Já se foi um da navio.
So much information from out there as well, and it's possible to fall back in either direction to your teammates if someone decides to rock up on you, so that's fair enough. Melman got knocked by Howl, by the way, so that wasn't by NLT. And I think Northern Lights and Navi haven't
Só pra ouvir o clack.
yet, so yeah, so they're not 100% sure. They know that those shots are nearby, but they don't know which end of the fight.
E adianta mais fazer, tá ligado? Tipo,
and it looks like they're gonna opt to rotate.
eu tô tão fudido, tô com as costas tão fodidas já que nem ereto mais eu consigo ficar, tá ligado? Os braços mesmo, Jesus. Ainda que, tipo assim, meu braço, ele não tá doendo como geralmente dói, tá ligado? Mas se não, meu Deus, velho. Tem dia que tu tá louco.
Fortunately, one got out fast enough to shoot and return, and that's going to force BBL down back inside of shooting range.
Several teams are moving towards the shooting range area. This is Regnum Karya here. 666 meter knock from football. That's nice. That's probably how far out of circle. No, they're smack bang in the middle of it. I'm going to eat my words instantly.
Nossa, Reg, o que você tá fazendo?
Just fine. Beautiful sharpshooting there, I have to say. And Reg, find a position. I was worried they were going to run into BBL or Team Rage, but they've actually found.
A Reg, cara, né, se posicionou lá. Eles não vão conseguir manter, cara. Eles não vão conseguir manter, tá ligado? Que?
I assume a little bit of a observer block that looked very strange, but Double does get a freebie. For Heroic, I gotta say, I suppose if there's one way to
Eu não entendi o que aconteceu ali,
in
velho.
a situation where they're thriving really well.
Ele simplesmente, pra mim, ele tava atirando num fantasma e do nada apareceu o cara nocado e GG, velho. Cara, o PUBG tá estranho esses dias, né, velho? Acho que o Observer bebeu um pouco, não sei, velho. Olha lá quanto tiro pra finalizar. Caralho, maluco. Isso que ele deu umas pinadinhas. Matou todo mundo. Nossa, eu falando que a safe ia fechar aqui, ela dá um shift literalmente pra esquerda, agora um pra direita. Meu Jesus amado. Ela vai shiftar pra cá, então, ó. Meu único palpite dessa safe aqui, que já que quebrou todo mundo, até eu, cara, é que ela faz shift pra cá, ó. Então, ó. Já que ela shiftou pra cá, ela vai fechar pra lá, mano. Aquela posição mais aberta. Caramba.
That's something. This next circle, though, is, I mean, that is tough. We're essentially forcing, I mean, the little bit of forest that we did have in play on the west side, we're forcing everyone away from it at this point. There is still some forest up on the northwest side, and believe me, that's where a majority of the teams will be setting up shop, because as you can see here with the overview, there ain't nothing to play around.
O que esses caras estão fazendo ali, velho?
The hill is still in. You can't, like some of those tips that tend to become viable later on in the game, you can't really play them right now because the hillside is still in.
That's right. So the nature of these hills and the hillside. Oh dear, Alia and Navi rocking up on BNR. So a road to glory, not selling the story that there are multiple people here. So Navi gonna be trying to abuse this as much as possible, but dead. Gets one from long range, and suddenly BNR's got a second knock as well. This is looking good. I love he's trading space for time as well. Looks for the third. Oh my
Como é que o Ayla no cu, cara?
Yeah, able to stay alive through that one. Has to go for the heal first before trying to get his teammates back up on their feet. In the meantime, Fex loses a teammate. Vehicle there indicating just that. Lou finds Digger as well. So again, I mean, we talked about it just before I said it coming into this shift. You're so limited in where you can really play off here. Nice one too.
Nossa, o Salik jogou demais. Só XMPL vivo. Nossa, que HE. Como é que o cara ficou vivo, velho?
Absolutely absurd, Nate. A second one onto instinct as well. Good molly
No!
in return.
Ah, tá
And
morto.
actually, example, in order to throw that grenade, he had to walk into the molly. And, oh, I tell you what, that could easily have been disastrous for him there. That must have been a calculated risk.
Não, velho, não dá pra entender, mano. Não dá pra entender, cara. Ó, na moral, mano. Eu devo estar jogando o jogo errado, velho. Não é possível. Tá bom, velho. Eu tô jogando PUBG errado, velho. Eu tô jogando mobile ultimamente, tá ligado? Só que ele tá, tipo assim, com a skin do PUBG do PC, velho. Porque não é possível, velho. Cara, a Road to Glory, cara. A Road to Glory literalmente eliminou na vida do game, tá ligado? Não desmereço que os caras jogou bem, mas, mano, teve muita coisa ali que eu vi que, mano, eu tô tentando até agora entender, velho. Literalmente, até agora eu tô tentando entender o que aconteceu, velho. Tá ligado? Um D5 do Ayla lá com a 12. O outro toma uma HE na boca, não dá nem damage nele. Do nada, tipo assim, os caras tacam uma molotov, pega a molotov no cara, tipo, tá ligado? Ele toma tiro de SLR e consegue healar e ainda tá tiro nos caras. Meu Deus!
That was very nice and synchronized there from the Entropic crew. I suspect that's just a spectator.
Que foi isso, cara?
Moving across ends. They're going from the east side of the circle to the...
Eu juro que... Nossa, Mitreias. Eu juro que encarnou Harry Potter agora, tá ligado? No PUBG, velho. Então, os dados estão querendo sair voando, velho. Tá todo mundo querendo sair voar. Caralho, maluco.
Very tricky position for them. Only 3 left alive.
Nossa senhora!
I think they do now, but they still lose another.
Meu Deus, velho. Ele bateu o kit dentro da molotov, velho. Cara, assim, a molotov estourou na frente da árvore, tipo, pelo que me pareceu, assim, na frente, um pouco pros lados da árvore, tá ligado? Aí, assim, ele foi pra frente, a molotov pegou nele, ele começou a pegar fogo e rodou o kit, foi pra trás e parou de tomar damage, cara. Tá ligado? Teria que ver, tipo assim, uma visão de cima, né, que pegou aquela molotov, tá ligado? Só que, mano, foi muito estranho. Foi estranho demais, cara. O Ayla, né? O Ayla tava de 12. Tu viu a quantidade do D5 que deu quando ele matou o cara de 12? Ele deu o tiro, ele vazou, o cara caiu, velho. Tá ligado? Eu não entendi nada ali, velho. Eu fiquei pensando, caramba, mano. Ih, tia Bonnie. Ai, tinha 1 de vida, velho. Meu Deus, os caras têm sorte. Árvore não é parede, não. Então, velho, tá ligado? Eu sei, é que nem eu falei. A molotov, ela espalhou e pegou no cara, tá ligado? Só que, mano, eu não entendi, velho, o que aconteceu, tá ligado? Eu literalmente não entendi nada ali, velho. Foi muito estranho. Nossa, aí que caiu na 14ª posição. No! Cara, o top 1 e o top 2 caiu, tá ligado? Agora torcer pra Ence e pra Northern Lights cair também, tá ligado? Tipo assim, é o que mais dá possível para o pessoal torcer nessa partida. O que vai ser difícil. Cara, como a Ence viu que não tem mais a FaZe, que a Entropic, que a Northern Lights também, os caras vão, mano, os caras vão tryhardar o máximo pra tentar segurar a partida. Tá ligado? Os caras literalmente, cara, vão segurar tudo que dá, velho, na partida.
Everyone out into the open here now once more. Only 2 compounds left in play. One of them currently under the control of Road to Glory. Finding one more as Him and falls down. Tegus trying to stay put, but him and Nixie realizing there's a bit too much going up on that hillside. Issue is as soon as they back up, they're getting shot in return. Smalley should be the downfall of Nixie. Yep. It is. He will go down, and now just Tegus left alive. Great play, great hold from Road to Glory, honestly.
Road to Glory tá aqui, tá, velho. Caralho. Os bichos são...
He's been a very, very strong player for Road to Glory, and He's really anchoring the team as well. So good to see him get a couple of kills in. But now, surviving the next circle or two until you get to the placement point, that's going to be a completely different kettle of fish. We'll see if they can do that.
Good. In the meantime, well, they lost teams early on. Where do they go? Hopefully not the same direction that football is. They're going in because 4 in a car is never a good idea. 4 in a car this late in the game is suicidal. Taggers finding 2. Sally finds the last football.
Caramba.
Transportation too far. That was suicidal.
Saca Senzen é o nome desse time.
Well,
They
let's
knew
give
they
this a
were up
go.
there too, but I suppose, I mean, there just weren't a whole lot of places for them to go. They didn't want to take the fight to
I
wreck,
guess.
so...
Tipo assim, ó, o pessoal falou no campeonato que esse Salik... Meu Deus! Esse Salik é um dos melhores players de SR e DMR, tá ligado? Do campo, pelo que o pessoal tava falando. Mas eu não sei, eu nunca vi ele jogando no campeonato oficial, tá ligado? Literalmente não me recordo desse Salik, tá ligado? Mas ele tá jogando bem, cara. Tá jogando extremamente bem.
Forward.
They sure have to. BBL trying to wrap underneath here, taking him from one fight straight into potentially another. Nogi, Squeaky, still alive and kicking, but for how much longer? 4 up from BBL as they make their way on forward. Do they see that they're both outside? Oh, He was on point.
So
And
good.
jumped straight into the fire and goes nice.
Falta de info. Ah, foi Sense. Falta Northlights agora.
Window, pre-molly inside, insta-spray, beautiful stuff.
Tu quer ver que vai cair todo o top 5, só vai sobrar o top 6 pra baixo? A finaleira vai ser tipo assim, os últimos 5 aqui. Tá ligado? Com a rolo. Só vai ver, mano. Vai ser tipo assim, o 4 da final vai ser todo o top final da tabela. Só vai ver, velho. É o que tá me parecendo esse jogo. Última colocação fazendo limpa nessa play. Pois é, cara. Tipo, os caras tão literalmente, eu tô estranhando demais isso, cara. Tu pode ver, ó. A RTG, tá ligado? Eles estavam com muita. Estão com 7 kills, eu acho. A Reg tá com 5, eu acho.
Yes,
Pum.
it does. Detonate there. No
Olha lá,
way.
foi a Skate pro Store. Só falta BBL e Northlights.
Excellent stuff. Bouncing it off the door frame, completely deliberate, and that was beautiful stuff. So that's Team Liquid. Taking
Mas,
advantage
cara,
of the
assim, ó.
problem now.
Eu tô gostando demais do jogo da Reg. Porque. Nossa! Eu tô gostando demais do jogo da Reg. Por causa que eles estão sendo muito agressivos, tá ligado? E estão correndo atrás, cara. Mano, isso é muito importante, tá ligado? Muito importante, velho. Nossa, olha só. Ah, show, velho. Ah, não, mano. Aí tu. Aí, pô, uma que tu podia tentar pegar, pelo menos, né?
Double holding his shot.
Mas assim, eu estou jogando bem, cara. Tô curtindo. Ó, 7 kills já. Tô com 2 vivos, mas assim. Olha lá, ó o pezinho. 8 kills.
Shots were
E só
done.
vai, velho.
8 kills.
Ó.
For Road to Glory, struggling to determine it so far. Only 5 placement points over the course of the entire thing, but here, well, now they're there once more. Look at this, Sally continuing to
820 de damage? Caralho!
So well. Yeah, and counting as well. Like, he is absolutely not done yet. Team Liquid, by the way, they opt to disengage from Northern Light, and they're sending it in here instead. I like the decision. It's very risky, though, and Hal are now all around them. Liquid have to get the first knock against Hal, I think.
Yeah, Nate's now coming in as well. Actually, as a matter of fact, this is Matt throwing Nate's in the other direction, so no one from Hal looking up towards Liquid.
Coitado das. Virou maré.
After having just kind of full speed pushed their way into this, maneuvering their way through multiple teams, they now have a good chance of pushing up the hillside.
No!
Now finds one. Nate's come in as well. BBL and Liquid.
Clive jogou demais. Clive e o Vale jogaram demais
I
agora.
said the first knock. I didn't say all of them at once, but you know, we'll take what we can get. Vard and Clip still surviving. They're into the top
Agora
five.
Team Liquid cai.
BBL with 9 kills though have all 4 players.
Thunderlord vai pegar esse de lado.
Northern Lights and they're
Tipo assim, a Northlights tem visão dos caras, tá ligado? Só que assim, o Thunderlord não vai chegar a tomar tiro. Ele sabe que tem gente ali, tá ligado? E vai acabar com a Team Liquid agora. Ele não tem uma HE, velho. Nossa, o Lu salvou demais o VAD agora. Explode o Dacia, tio. Explode o Dacia, cara. Explode o Dacia.
Harm to all of this. You can see Thunderlust wants to go for the peak, but two ones from inside, from under Rich, I should say.
Nossa,
Good angle from him.
Espero joga demais.
And the flush, so Liquid able to stay alive
Tá
at least
uns...
for a little while longer.
Tá uns 250 metros, tá ligado? Ele matou o cara. Explode Dacia, cara. Atira na porcaria do Dacia, velho. Ah, meu pai amado. O Capta foi nocado.
That's going to be that road to glory. Now, as if Salak hasn't had enough damage this game, we've got 12 bullets and an orm in his hands as well. That could be so much fun.
Nocou outro.
Back down the hill, but Selig literally will not allow it. Mer down to low HP. Selig's once more. Nope, goes for the flush onto Slippy Circle. Little as you know that Smash is just over the other side of the hill. Now shots come in return. Selig down to 1 HP, but Spiro able to find him from behind. BNR, where are you on this? You're the up close player. You have 3 players just above you. Go for the peak, finds one instantly, goes for the peak on the second. Not gonna happen. Try to help his teammate out, but it's not going to.
Caramba, velho, que partida do caramba. Olha a BBL com 12 kills, caralho, maluco. Northlight também deve estar com umas 10 kills, eu acho, se pá. 4x3, 4x4 se conseguir riçar. Boa.
BBL of 3 left up. Northern Lights have got all 4. They did have a couple of knocks earlier on, but they managed to survive.
O Codmark tá full 3. Se eu não me engano, o Codmark tá full 3. E tem um da Northlights, eu acho que também tá. Eu acho. A Northlights tá com um controle de safe muito melhor, tá ligado? Que a BBL, velho. É full aberto e eles têm árvore, tem muita árvore pra trabalhar. Ah, meu Deus do céu, olha lá, velho, Batulins. Ah, não, Batulins. Ah, não, Batulins. Aí tu pediu demais, né, tio?
Ammo as well, let alone Mets, not exactly massive on those either. So BBL, despite being the ones who have to move into the circle, it's actually them coming out on top. Spiro.
Great shots. Ketpa's really on point, by
Conseguiu rilar, hein?
those mini shots this game.
I just saw Spiro with a revolver and I was thinking, don't even. don't even. We've seen it happen.
Salik ataca novamente.
As well, and obviously in the Philippe, was it?
It's the revolver meta, man.
Yeah, exactly. Revolver meta before. That Nate looks good, bounces off the wrong side.
É, vale o... Mano, os dois estão empatados, tá ligado?
Jumps for info, instantly met by shots in return.
That's your info.
Eles estão bem na safe, cara. Os dois times estão bem na safe.
Split out here, trying to use the entire ridge line. They are outnumbered, so they desperately need that first knock going their way.
Agreed, yeah. And Ketpa at the moment has been really...
Se a Northlights der o primeiro knock na BBL, eles puxam, tá ligado? Se a BBL, tipo, dar o knock na Northern Lights, eles vão segurar um pouco e vão ir comendo por uma beirada, velho. Porque é o que tem pra fazer, tá ligado? Literalmente, mano. É o que eles têm pra fazer. Estão na desvantagem de um jogador. 9 kills. Meu Deus. Bora, Northern Lights.
That is insane. The fact that they the trapped and spraying twice essentially on their side of the circle. Marco spots one more loot down slow HP. As I say that, actually not Marco, the one of the receiving end of the majority of the damage.
Que a Northern Lights fez?
All that's left alive. BBL were outnumbered, but it's just blue left alive.
Nossa, meu Deus, Northern Lights. 16 kills, cara.